Well, that was a pretty good day. Uh, Busy day, but the bit I want to share with you guys if you're looking at houses to flats. But first, have a look. Isn't this a beautiful square? Look at that. That's one of my favourite squares in Bristol. Okay, so how'd you make £1,000,000? I'm about to. And I'm not even buying any more houses. So what's happening is I'm taking only 16 of my houses and I'm going to turn them into flats. And because I live in an urban area and most of my properties are very, very central, and they're very in a tight cluster and very central part of Bristol, what we're doing is we're doing a project to go around the houses and to, over time, get them turned into flats. Because of the difference in values, and of course your area might be different to mine, but I think it's really worth exploring, particularly in the kind of higher value areas. Because of the difference in values, what I'm going to be doing is spending about £1,000,000 to renovate 16 of my houses into flats, and I'm going to add £2 million worth of value after all costs. So I'm going to have to spend £1 million to get £2 million worth of value. I'm not even buying any more houses. All I'm doing is changing, if you like, their configuration, adding some renovation money and getting £1 million extra value. Not too difficult. So there's quite a lot of things you need to think about when you're doing that kind of thing. So let's just talk about some of them. I'm going to stand so you can see. This is why I love this area, and it's maybe faded up, but they're beautiful colours. So one of the things you want to do is, and aren't they gorgeous? One of the things that is important is to figure out where the sewage pipes are, because if they're within 3 metres, oh, we're going to see them guys smoking dope, I'm sure. Sewage meters, because if they're within 3 metres of the back, you need to get permission from your local water authority. That's fine. You just write to them, they have processes to show you how to do that. Am I going to film you guys?
Pardon?
Your parents might recognise you.
Why? I mean, what's this for?
Oh, it's for property stuff. I don't think your parents will watch.
No, it's alright.
And then the next thing, I once gave a young lad a lecture on how marijuana causes psychosis, and the poor guy is just like, yes miss, yes miss, yes miss. Obviously he was like, bog off miss. Oh, so then the next thing you want to think about is making the biggest amount of floor space possible before you then go for planning. So at the moment we've got permitted developments. That means that we're going to go up into the loft and we're going to go out the permitted amount of meterage at the back, because then we've got a much larger floor space to work with. Then you want to probably, as we've done, interview for a really great architect, and it took us a while to, we assessed about 100 applications of houses to flats. We identified what ones were good, what ones were poor, who had the most success. We went and interviewed 4 top architects, and now we're working with one. And it's a great working relationship. So go figure out who your architect is, and this guy's a real jobbing commercial, good fun guy that gets stuff done fast, and his prices are relatively low, and he's very experienced. He's a commercial developer himself, so he totally gets it. Then what's the next thing you need to do? Room sizes. So look up your room sizes, because there are different room sizes depending on how many stories you are and whether you're putting in a one bed, or a 2 bed for a single person and a double person, etc., etc. So it's very, very clear if you print out the room the space dimensions that are within the current planning, because that's going to be really important for how big a flat can you get. Then certainly for urban, but your architect's going to do this bit, you're really looking at the cycle storage and the bins, but that's your architect's job. But that's why it was really useful for us to review 100 planning applications, because we saw really quickly which architects were good, which architects were poor, and what kind of solutions were easily acceptable by the council. And then our plan is to go permitted development first, so basically do the extensions out the back and up the top, and in fact we're going to get a couple of granny annexes. Now we can't sell them separately, but we're in a couple of my houses, and we just went to see 6 houses today, so I'll probably get more granny annexes going forward, where I've got garages and I've got pathways or lanes to the garage. I can put a granny annex. I can't sell it separately, it's not a legal separate residence, but it is a residential residence, so I can rent it out. And seeing as I want to keep my properties, I might as well turn my garages into nice granny annexes and rent it out for more money. I mean, why would you not? So it's also looking at the space you've got and seeing what you can do even above popping up, popping out, splitting into flats. You know, what else can you develop? Have you got garages you can develop that can be perfectly legit and totally decent places for people to live? Because we'll make them really funky. But I'm going to earn £1 million by not buying any more houses, by following that process of permitted development. Now, I'm not going to spend the £1 million because it all goes into equity, so I've obviously got a few choices. Do I take out some lending against that? Well, I'm in the stage, the answer is no. For me, my gut feel is I want to pay down debt. So what that will do is that will reduce my, but you might want to, you know, or you might want to do houses to flats and add the extra value and then have that extra value as profit and sell them as buy to sell. Personally, just because it's my choice, I'm going to keep them. But what I'm going to be doing is making sure that my portfolio is worth more and more and more. The lending is lower and lower and lower to loan to value. I'm paying off houses, I'm paying down houses, and so things like my interest rate will be cheaper. Now I know that's not like super sexy, but it's brilliant for where I'm sat. But you may want to do buy and sell and take all that difference and book and bag it and stick in your back pocket, and good for you. So there you are, how to make £1 million without buying another house. Not bad. I'm going out for drinks now. See ya.